Hi, this is Chanel. I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about manual and automatic cars. Okay, and I'm going to correlate the message to your brain. I'm always talking about mindsets, and so I'm going to correlate this message. I'm going to bring those two topics together. Okay, so cars and your mindset. So when I was 10, I learned how to drive an automatic. Okay, and then when I was about 13, I learned how to drive a manual. Okay, and so I want to talk first about the difference between the two. So I want to tell you what I know. I'm going to tell you my experience and how I felt about the two, and then I'm also going to tell you I did just a little bit of research just to see, you know, what car part does that work for you. Okay, so again, I'm talking about cars, so manual car versus the automatic car or a stick shift. What part of the car does the work for you, and what exactly does it do? Okay. And again, I'm going to correlate this message to your brain. Okay. So first off, the transmission is the part that, does the work for you. Okay. So if you drive an automatic, I guess whether it's an automatic or a manual, I don't know. I'm not an expert on cars at all. Okay. But if you drive an automatic, and I wrote it down, so let me read it so I don't get anything wrong. I just Googled it. But the transmission transfers power to the wheels. Okay. So basically, I Googled what the transmission does. First of all, what part controls the gear shift. Also, what exactly does that part do? Okay. So again, it transfers power. And basically, you know, it just does the thinking for you when it comes to the power of shifting gears. It transfers the power to the wheel is what I Googled, is what it said. And basically, it just does the thinking for you. So in a manual car, when you slow down, speed up, the transmission does the work for you. Okay? You don't have to shift any gears. You don't have a clutch. You don't have to do all the extra work if you just have a manual. I'm sorry, if you have an automatic. Now, if you have a manual, you are using both hands. One hand is on the steering wheel, one hand is on the clutch. You're using both feet. One foot controls the accelerator and the brake, and the other foot is on the clutch so that you can shift the gears. Okay, so there's a lot more work that goes into driving a manual. Now, I've always preferred manual stick shift because you have better control. If you ever look at car races, okay, NASCAR, those drivers don't drive a manual. Okay, they don't drive an automatic. They drive manual. And the reason they do that is because, again, they have control over the car. It gives you more control. Okay, you have greater control. It's much more hands-on, and it's just ideal for people who want to control the car better. Okay, a manual. Again, that's my preference. Okay, now, I'm knocking on 50. Okay, and I have arthritis in one of my feet. I also have a cyst in that same foot, or on that same foot. I don't know. So, but anyway, I also have a cyst on that same foot, and so, that foot gives me a lot of problem when there's too much pressure. Okay, So even though I know how to drive an automatic and I prefer to drive an automatic, I'm sorry, a manual. I know how to drive a manual, a stick shift. I prefer a stick shift. However, an automatic is easier on me. Even though I mean I have to drive with the same foot, but it's easier because of those medical issues. Okay. Like I said, I learned to drive a stick when I was 13. Now, whether you drive an automatic or a manual, you have to pay attention when you're driving. You pay attention to what's in front of you. You pay attention to what's behind you. You pay attention to what's going on both sides of you. You have to pay attention to everything. So, driving a manual requires you to pay more attention. And the reason you're required to pay more attention is because there's more work on your end. Okay? I'm going to talk about the brain now. There are a lot of people who don't think for themselves. Now, let me go back to what I was initially saying. An automatic does the work for you. When you drive an automatic, you don't have to worry about shifting up, shifting down. Do I need to put it in first speed, second speed, third speed, fourth speed, fifth? You don't have to worry about any of that. Okay. However, if you know how to drive a manual, you have the knowledge. You have to know when you're driving. You have to know based upon what's going on. Do I need to shift to first, second, third, fourth, or fifth? Okay, and if you put that car in the wrong gear, you can mess it up. You need to know what gear to go to. Do I go to first gear, second gear, third, fourth, or fifth? You have to know what gear to go to and when to go to it. Okay, do I need to go straight to a different gear, or can I ease my way down? Okay, it requires you to think. Okay, it requires you to pay attention. You have to have control. You have to know how to use that control. There are a lot of people who have no control. They don't know how to make decisions on their own. Their brain is on manual. Their brain is on automatic. They need somebody to do all the shifting for them. Okay, they can't seem to shift on their own. And I think it's very important that you have the ability to pay attention. You have the ability to make a decision on how you should shift, where you should shift, and I'll leave that at that. Okay, it's important to know how to shift. Now, with that being said, again, with me now, balance. I want to talk about balance, or having the ability to do both. So, having the knowledge. I have the knowledge, even though I learned at 13, and I've driven manuals, between 13 and now. Because it's my preference, I've purchased cars that were manual. Okay, so it's important that you have the knowledge, and you're able to again, make decisions on your own. However, situations, I'll go back to my foot. Like I have arthritis now, and so not putting that pressure on that foot and utilizing a manual is also helpful at times. Okay, it's beneficial at times. Okay, however, if I needed to, if today, if someone said, hey, here, here's a stick shift. I learned how to drive it at 13. I'm in my mid 40s now. I can drive it. Okay, and so again, talking about your mind, it's important that you have control over your mind. Okay, know how to just utilize control. Okay, know how to shift, know how to pay attention, or just pay attention. Okay, and just know when to know how and when to shift, so to speak. Okay. So again, just talking about the manual. Okay. So what are the benefits? The benefits of driving a manual are, again, you have control. Talking about your brain. Don't allow people to tell you what to think, how to think, what not to like, what to like, who to like. You should have the ability, if God has given you a brain of your own, and eyes and ears, and all the things you need to make a logical decision, you should be able to make a logical decision of your own. That gives you control. Don't allow other people to sit in your passenger seat and control your gear shift. You understand? When you allow other people to tell you what to think, what not to think, who to like, who not to like, what to do, what not to do, you have no control over your own gear shift. If this is your car, if this is your life, this is your car, that's your gear shift. Don't allow anybody to come sit in your passenger seat and take over. Okay? So again, when you are able to pay attention and make logical decisions, you have knowledge, you have better control. Convenience will cost you more. So manual cars cost less. Automatic costs more. Okay, same thing when it comes to your brain. A lot of times, or just a lot of different scenarios, a lot of times convenience will cost you more. Okay, convenience will cost more. Okay, having knowledge, just like a manual car, it may take more work, but what's up here can never be taken from you. You understand? It's helpful, if anything else. I mean, it's having knowledge is helpful. Being able to shift gears in life and make pivots when needed, and just knowing how to do and what to do and when to do it will always be very, very beneficial. Okay. I wrote some notes down, so I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I wanted to say. I think that's just about it. But like I said, at the end of the day, don't allow anyone else don't allow other people to feed you or hop into your passenger seat, like I just said, and shift your gears. Okay, you have full control, and it's important to teach your children how to think independently as well. Okay, think independently, and like I said, just know how to move, know how to pivot, know how to pay attention, okay, to things around you and things ahead. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Bye.